Today we are going to see about AM receiver, amplitude modulator receiver. Okay, the receiver part is important because we are transmitting signal by using the block transmitter. Okay, so we are generating locally low frequency message signal. Then we are doing modulation with the help of high frequency carrier signal. After modulation, we are transmitting the modulated signal by using suitable amplifier and antenna. Okay, that's over with the amplifier transmitter block. At receiver side, we are using receiver to receive the signal. Okay, the second part is receiver part. At destination side, okay, destination side, we are using this block. The name of the block is receiver. Here, a radio receiver is an electronic equipment which picks up the signal, any desired radio frequency signal, and recovers the original message signal from it. So here we have different types of transmitters, different frequency transmitters are there. So we don't have a single transmitter. Okay, ma. So in wireless transmission or wireless communication systems, different transmitters are there. Because so many users are available here, each and every user is using their own transmitter. So each and every transmitter is transmitting signal in its own frequency, own carrier frequency. So a receiver is having one problem. So receiver will receive different kinds of signals. Okay, different frequency signals. From the received signals or all the available signals, first step is it has to pick the desired one. Okay, because the transmission medium is wireless transmission medium. So in wireless transmission medium, different frequency signals are transmitted. So okay, so at receiver side, all the signals will be available. Okay, what are all the signals are available in there? All the signals will be available at receiver. Okay, so from the available signals, the receiver has to identify the desired one, and at the same time, the receiver has to detect or receive the desired signal, the required signal. That is the main function of receiver. Okay, so the functions of receivers, three functions are there. So three functions or three characteristics. First function is tuning function. Tuning means the receiver is tuned to a particular frequency ma. Okay, so it is to select the desired signal. So different frequency signals are available. Out of the available signals, the receiver has to identify and receiver has to select the desired one. So to select the desired signal, the receiver has to be tuned to that particular frequency. Then only the receiver can select the desired signal. So first step is tuning. Why we are tuning the receiver? To select the desired signal. The second function is filtering. Okay, so different frequencies are signal. So nearer frequency components are also available. So we are tuning the receiver to particular frequency. But anyway, the nearer very closer frequencies are also available, so we have to filter the unwanted signal. Okay, so the filtering function is important. Second function is filtering function. The third function is amplification. Okay, the receiver is tuned and the receiver is filtered the unwanted signals. The receiver selected the desired signal. After selecting the desired signal, that selected signal has to be amplified because signal strength is not enough. So the signal strength has to be boosted. To do that, we are using the amplifier block. That's all. Next one is receiver parameters are all important. Three parameters are available. These three parameters are important while selecting the receiver, while deciding the receiver. The first parameter is or performance parameter is selectivity. See here, selectivity. The ability of the receiver to select the desired frequency by rejecting all other frequencies. That ability is called as selectivity. So out of all available frequencies, it has to select the desired component. It has to select perfectly. That characteristic is called as selectivity. Okay. Next one is sensitivity. The ability of the receiver to pick up the weakest signal and amplify the signal. Okay. Sensitivity means it should identify, it should receive the weak signal also. That is called sensitivity. So we are using the term, no, she is more sensitive or he is more sensitive. So they are responsive to minimum voltage or minimum value. That is called sensitivity. Okay. So the sensitivity should be high for receiver. The third characteristic is fidelity. So the fidelity is the ability of the receiver to reproduce all the range of modulating signals equally. Actually, ma, so we are using some range of frequencies. Okay, from 10 kilohertz, some for example, from 10 megahertz to 10.3 megahertz like that. So range is there from 10 megahertz to 10.3 megahertz. So the fidelity is nothing but the receiver's characteristics or receiver ability to reproduce all the frequency ranges equally. Okay, that is called fidelity. Equally means from 10 kilohertz to 10.3, 10 megahertz to 10.3 megahertz, it should recover or it should reproduce the entire frequency range in equal amount. That is called fidelity. These three are important characteristics. So here we have two types of AM receivers. First one is tuned radio frequency receiver. Second one is super heterodyne receiver. First one is tuned radio frequency receiver. So tuned radio frequency, see the title of the receiver, tuned radio frequency receiver. The receiver is tuned to one particular radio frequency. So it is called as tuned radio frequency receiver. Okay, it is a simple receiver and a straight receiver. Here we don't have any indirect method. It is straightly receiving the signal. See the block diagram of this receiver. Then we will see the blocks one by one. First one is receiving antenna is available here. Okay, our next block is RF amplifier stage, next detector stage, audio detector stage, third one is amplifier stage. So three stages are here in the block diagram. The finally we have a speaker. Speaker means final destination is there. First one is RF stage. So in the RF stage, two or more RF amplifiers are used. Okay, ma. But these amplifiers are tuned to the desired RF frequency to select the desired signal. Because here we are using a receiving antenna. In front of the receiving antenna, so many signals are available. So F1, F2, F3, F4. So different frequency components or different frequency signals are available. Out of those two available frequency signal, it has to select the desired one. So here we are using the term gang tuning. So gang tuning means if we have more number of amplifiers, if we have only one stage, no problem. If we have more than one stages, all the stages, the entire gang should be tuned to the desired frequency. Then only the entire gang will recover or will select the desired frequency. Okay, ma. So the RF amplifiers, if you use more number of amplifiers, all the amplifiers are simultaneously tuned to the desired frequency. So all are tuned. That is called gang tuning. So this is important here. So for tuning circuit, the tuning circuit is used here. So the tuning circuit is nothing but it's a combination of L and C circuit. Here the C is tuned. The capacitor is tuned to the desired frequency. Next to RF stage, we have detector stage, audio detector stage. The original modulating signal is recovered by using suitable demodulation technique. Okay, from the modulated signal, the original signal is recovered. The original modulating signal is recovered by using demodulation, that is called detector stage. Then after detection, the message signal is amplified by using amplifier. So amplifier stage is there. So one amplifier, maybe two or three amplifiers are there. So it is advantages are less expensive, high sensitivity, and the implementation is very simple. Okay, because it's having only three blocks. So simple operation is very simple. We are tuning the amplifier, we are receiving the signal, from that we are picking the desired component, then we are doing demodulation, then we are doing amplification. That's all the simple operation. But the disadvantage is unstability conduction due to large number of RF stages. Okay, ma'am. So the tuning of amplifier to one particular frequency is not possible, because if we have only one frequency, okay. If we have 100 frequencies, okay, it's practically possible, because designing 100 different set of amplifiers or designing 100 set of receiver block is okay. But if we are if that if for the case of 1000 or 1 lakh RF stages means what will happen? No, it's not possible. So the simple design is not possible for large number of frequencies. Okay, that is a drawback with the previous method. So we are moving the next method. That method is called a super heterodyne receiver. Okay, ma. So super heterodyne receiver. So just receive it is used to overcome the problem of the previous method. Okay. So super heterodyne receiver, it converts all the RF frequencies to a fixed frequency. That fixed low frequency is called as intermediate frequency. So super heterodyne receiver first converts the RF received frequency into one intermediate frequency. This is the first step. Okay, then the intermediate frequency is applied for amplification process and reduction process and final recovery process. Okay, see here the deduction method. Okay, Dama, the deduction block and the amplifier block. These blocks are fixed one. Okay, these blocks are operating at one particular frequency. That frequency is called as intermediate frequency. So these blocks are designed. So these blocks are common for all types of frequencies. So we don't worry about the frequency of incoming signal. Okay, ma, because whatever may be the incoming signal, that incoming signal is selected and converted into one fixed low frequency signal, then that low frequency signal is processed. So the second block, the second part is common for all types of receivers, for all types of frequency ranges. But it's not like that with the previous method. In the previous method, this we have to change the frequency range of this stage and this stage and this stage also. So this block is not common. So we have to change or we have to design this block for different frequencies, but it's not possible. So we are doing this method. So first the received frequency, whatever may be the frequency, first the frequency received, then the frequency received frequency is converted into low frequency. That frequency is called as intermediate frequency. Then the intermediate frequency is processed. That's all. This is the difference between super heterodyne receiver and radio tuned frequency receiver. Okay, here also see here also we have three stages: RF stage, mixer stage, IF stage, last audio detector stage. Four stages are there. This is RF stage, this is mixing stage, here next IF stage, last is detector stage. In RF stage we have one antenna, then one gang tuning amplifier. In mixer stage we have one mixer and local oscillator is there. Next, IF stage is normal stage. Reductor stage is also normal demodulation and amplification stages. Okay, first one is RF stage. We are going to see one by one. So in the RF stage is having two blocks. One is a pre-selector block. Second one is RF amplifier block. The pre-selector. So the pre-selector is a band pass filter. So the pre-selector, it is used to select the desired frequency component before demodulation. So it is called as pre-selector. So the pre-selector is nothing but a simple band pass filter which is tuned to a desired frequency. So the tuned band pass filter will allow the desired frequency band. It will not allow the unwanted band. It rejects the remaining unwanted frequency bands. Okay, that is the function of pre-selector. Next, normal RF amplifier, the selected signal is amplified. That's all. Our next stage is mixer stage. So the incoming signal, just assume the incoming signal's frequency is Fs. One local oscillator is also there. The local oscillator generates the frequency FLO. Both the signals are mixed by using the mixer. The output equal to FLO minus Fs. So the mixer can add as well as can subtract. Okay, so it mixes the incoming signal Fs and local oscillator signal FLO to produce the intermediate frequency. So the output of the mixer is intermediate frequency. The input is incoming radio frequency signal. Another input is locally generated local oscillator signal. The final output of the mixer is intermediate frequency signal. So the most common intermediate frequency signal is 455 kilohertz. Okay, ma. So the local oscillator signal. So from this equation, the local oscillator FIF intermediate frequency is equal to FL local oscillator minus signal. So from this the local oscillator is equal to signal incoming signal Fs plus the intermediate frequency FIF. This is our local oscillator signal. So intermediate frequency is equal to local oscillator minus incoming signal frequency. From that incoming frequency is equal to locally generated frequency minus intermediate frequency. All of you listen here. This is our incoming frequency. Okay, incoming frequency is equal to local oscillator frequency minus intermediate frequency. This intermediate frequency value is fixed. So most commonly used frequency range is 450 kilohertz. Okay, but here we have one more frequency. What is that? that frequency is equal to F SA is equal to the income in the locally generated frequency FLO, okay, local oscillator frequency plus the intermediate frequency. Okay, this is called image frequency. Okay, ma. So just I'm telling one example. So I want to just we have been given one problem. The output should be some 7. Just assume the output should be 7. Okay, one signal is available. Locally generated signal is available. The locally generated signal, just assume the locally generated signal is 2. Just all of you think about that. Our expected output is 7. Locally generated frequency is 2. Okay, ma. The incoming signal, one signal is coming. Okay, that signal is outcoming signal outside is 7. Locally generated is 2. Okay, if the incoming signal is 9. Okay, incoming frequency is 9. 9 minus 2 is equal to what? 7. அப்ப என்ன சொல்வோம்? Okay, this is the correct frequency because local the intermediate frequency is 7, local frequency is 2, the incoming signal is 9. When the incoming signal is 9, we are applying the formula 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. So that's okay. So the 9 is our desired signal. Okay, because this signal produces our expected output. Our expected output is 7 kilohertz. Local is 2. The incoming is 9. 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. So the 7, we got our desired output 7. So what we think? Okay, this is the desired signal. The 9 kilohertz is the desired signal because we are getting the expected output as actual output. Okay, but if the incoming signal, because the mixer will do two functions. One is addition function, another one is subtraction function. We will get both. Just assume the input signal is 5. Just one signal is coming, that signal frequency is 5. Then 5 plus 2, what will be the output? Again same 7. We are getting the output 7. Now itself we are thinking that okay, we are getting the desired output 7. So this signal is also desired signal. 9 produces same output, like that 5 also produces same output. But out of these two signals, only one is our desired signal. The next one is image. It's not real. It looks like our desired one, but it's not our desired one. So the name of the signal is named as image frequency. Okay. So the signal here we are facing one problem because we have to allow the desired signal only. We should not allow the remaining signals. We should filter all the undesired signals. But here we are facing one problem. That problem is the receiver block will allow the desired frequency as well as the image frequency because both are producing same local oscillator, same intermediate frequency component as output. So both the signals are producing same output. What we are thinking? Okay, both the signals are desired signals. The receiver will allow both the components, but only one is desired. The next one is image. Is it clear? So the image frequency is equal to locally generated plus intermediate frequencies is called image frequency signal. Okay, so the image frequency in terms of signal frequency, we are substituting the equation. Substitute this equation 1 in 4. Substitute here the local oscillator is equal to Fs plus Fif. So FLO equal to Fs plus Fif plus one more Fif is here. This is equal to Fs plus 2 Fif. That is our image frequency. But see here, so here one we are going to see one important property that is called image frequency rejection ratio. So we should not allow the image frequency. We have to allow the desired frequency. We should not allow the image frequency. So we have to reject the image frequency. That is important. See here the definition. The ability of the pre-selector to reject the unwanted image frequency. That ability is called as image frequency rejection ratio. Okay, so it is the ratio of gain at the signal frequency to the gain at image frequency. Okay, well, this is the image frequency rejection ratio. That is equal to gain at the signal frequency divided by gain at the image frequency. This alpha equal to square root of 1 plus q square into rho square. This rho equal to the ratio. This is the formula. So to calculate the rho value. Okay, ma. So q is a quality factor of the pre-selector. It is a defined one. This is already given. So we have to calculate this ratio. Image frequency divided by desired frequency minus the ratio of signal frequency divided by image frequency. This is the ratio rho. We are substitute this one. So this term is over. Next, the third stage is IF stage. Okay, so the IF stage consists of one or more IF amplifiers, because here in mixer stage the radio frequency signal is converted into intermediate frequency signal. Then the converted intermediate frequency signal is applied to the IF stage. Okay, so the IF stage, what it consists of? It consists of different one set of amplifiers. Okay, the amplifiers are used to amplify the signal. Then audio detector stage, here we are doing demodulation process. So it consists of two blocks, detector block, next amplification block. In detector block, we are doing detection process, that means the demodulation process. From the modulated signal, the original message signal is recovered, okay, or detected. This stage is called as audio detector stage. Next one is audio amplifier. The detected message signal will be applied to audio amplifier for further amplification process. Here we have one more block. The new block is automatic gain control block. Okay. Here the gain is controlled automatically. That block is called as gain automatic gain control block. Okay. For amplifiers, we are having one parameter, gain parameter. So the amplifier will do amplification based on the amplification factor, that gain value only. It will increase the amplitude twice or thrice or n numbers, depends on the gain value of the amplifier. But here the gain value can be automatically controlled. This is called automatic gain control part. And the advantages are stability and gain. We have improved gain and improved stability, high selectivity, high sensitivity, and the bandwidth remains constant. Okay, Dama. These are all the advantages of super heterodyne receiver. Okay, ma. So we completed all the derivations part. So we have seen so many formulas. Okay. Power calculation, current calculation, EV equations, AM equation, double sideband full carrier equation, double sideband suppressed carrier equation, double single sideband suppressed carrier equation, vestigial sideband equation. For all the four concepts, bandwidth formula is there, total power formula is there, modulation index formula is there, current formula is there. So we'll get problem from these topics only, from these formulas only. The problems are only simple substitutions. Okay, ma. So first take first problem. All of you see the problem. A 400 watt carrier is modulated to a depth of 75%. Okay. Calculate the total power in the modulated wave. So first this is the problem. The problem is given. First try to identify the parameters which are all given in the problem. Then identify the formula. Third step is substitution in the formula. That's all. Okay, first what is given here? 400 watt carrier. Watt means power. Carrier means carrier power. So the carrier power is 400 watts. Just all of you write the carrier power. The notation of the carrier power is P suffix C. Okay, already we have studied this one. So this is the power value is equal to 400 watts. First parameter is over. Next, this carrier is modulated to a depth of 75%. So depth of modulation, modulation index, modulation coefficient, different terms are there. So here depth of 75%. So that is nothing but our modulation index value. It is given in percentage. So modulation index MA equal to 75%. So 75% is equal to 75 divided by 100, that is equal to 0.75. So two parameters are identified from the given problem. What they asked to calculate? We have to calculate the total power in the modulated wave. After modulation, what is the total power? Okay, ma. So just write the formula of the total power after modulation. So this is the waveform is AM modulated wave. So the formula of AM modulated wave is equal to PT is equal to PC into 1 plus MA square by 2. This is the formula. In this formula, PC is directly provided and modulation index MA is also provided. Directly substitute in the formula. PC value is 400 watts, MA is equal to 0.75. All of you substitute here, ma. So after substituting this one, the total power is equal to 512.4 watts. That's all. So calculation is very simple. So after this class, you do your calculation by using calculator. All of you check your answer. Okay, ma, I will share this material. So students, all of you check your answer. Okay, that's all. Next is second problem. Okay, see the second problem. An AM broadcast transmitter has a carrier power of 550 kilowatts. What is the total power? What total power would be produced with the modulation index 80%? It's the same it's like our previous problem. Okay, here also they have provided carrier power 50 kilowatts and modulation index or depth of modulation 80%. So the carrier power is equal to 50 kilowatts. Modulation index value is equal to 80%, 80 divided by 100 is equal to 0.8. Again same formula, total power formula. Total power PT is equal to PC into 1 plus MA square by 2. Okay ma. So the PC is provided, MA is also provided. Substitute in this formula. We'll get the answer. So 50 kilowatts into 1 plus zero point 0.8 square root by 2, that is equal to 50 kilowatts into 0.64 root by 2. After substituting this one, after multiplying this one, you will get answer as 66 kilowatts. So if you look at the answer, before modulation, the power is less, 50 kilowatts only. Before modulation, the carrier power is always less. After modulation, definitely the power will be increased. That excess power is needed. That is a drawback of the modulation. No, in the disadvantages we have seen this point. No, after modulation, the power requirement is more because after modulation we are transmitting carrier signal along with the sidebands. So to transmit all the three components, the power requirement is more. Okay. Next, third problem. Okay, all of you see the third problem. A broadcast radio transmitter radiates 10 kilowatts. Okay, so the broadcast transmitter radiates this kilowatts power. So the transmitter will transmit the modulated signal. First, the message signal is generated. First step. Carrier signal is also generated. That is also first step. Then the message signal is modulated. That is our second step. So in transmitter, the modulated signal only transmitted. So it is modulated signal power. 10 kilowatts is the power of modulated signal. When the modulation percentage is 60 ma. Now we have to calculate the carrier power. So the total power is equal to 10 kilowatts. 10 kilowatts means 10 into 10 power 3 watts. The modulation percentage or modulation index value is equal to 60%. That is equal to 60 divided by 100, that is equal to 0.6. So now we have to calculate the total carrier power PC. So just to see again same formula. The formula which relates the three terms. Same formula, but here the PT is provided, MA is provided. We have to calculate this PC. Okay, that's all. So just to move this multiplication term as division term to the left side. So the carrier power equal to total power PT divided by this term 1 plus MA square by 2. All of you substitute the value 10 power 10 kilowatts divided by 1 plus 0.6 square root by 2. This is 10 kilowatts. This is the value. After substituting, this is equal to 8.47 kilowatts. All of you see the answer ma. Compared to total power, the empty carrier power is always lesser because while doing modulation, the power requirement is increased. Okay, so compared with a simple carrier power, the modulated signal power is always greater. This is the concept. Is it clear? The problem, this problem? Okay. Our next problem is a transmitter radiates this much power 10.125 kilowatts power with unmodulated carrier power 9 kilowatts. Calculate the modulation index and percentage of modulation. Okay, that's all. First problem. First statement is over. Next one is if another sine wave corresponding to 40% modulation is transmitted simultaneously, determine the total radiated power. Okay, first one is transmitter. Carrier power is given. Okay, ma. Carrier power equal to 9 kilowatts. All of write it. Carrier power equal to 9 kilowatts. Total power is equal to 10.125 kilowatts. Calculate the percentage modulation. Okay, the modulation percentage is equal to 40%. This is the another sine waveform. First, for this case, we have to calculate the percentage of modulation or modulation index. Substitute the formula. PT is equal to PC into 1 plus MA square by 2. From this, This MA square by 2 equal to PT divided by PC minus this 1. Okay. So MA square by 2 equal to PT minus PC minus 1. Substitute the values. Already values are given. 10.125 substitute and the PC value 9 also substitute minus 1. Okay, this the value is equal to MA square by 2 equal to some value we got. This MA square equal to this value into 2. From this MA square, okay. Then from this MA is equal to square root of 0.250. This is our MA value, that is equal to 50.5. So that percentage is equal to 50%. For here we have two statements. First statement, in the first statement calculation, they asked to calculate the percentage of modulation. So we did. We completed the percentage of modulation. In second half, if another sine waveform is corresponding to 40% modulation is transmitted simultaneously, determine the total power. So see here, one signal is there, another signal is there. First signal modulation index is 50%. Second signal modulation is 40%. So both the signals are simultaneously transmitted. Okay, Dama. So now we have to calculate the total modulation index. That if signal is transmitted, so that signal's modulation index value single value. If one, two or more number of signals are simultaneously transmitted means we have to calculate the total modulation index value. The total modulation index value mt is equal to square root of m1 square plus m2 square plus m3 square, the number of waveforms involved or simultaneously transmitted. But here in this problem only two signals are transmitted. First signal of 50% modulation index, second signal of 40% modulation index. Both are simultaneously transmitted. So for this case, we have to calculate the total modulation index value. Okay, Dhamma? So that is equal to square root of MA square plus MB square. First value 0.5 square plus second value is 0.4 square. So the just we are adding the value, result is available. Take square root of that. So the total value is equal to 0.64. Now what is the total radiated power or total transmitted power or total required power? What are the term used? No problem. So the carrier, before modulation, the carrier power is given 9 kilowatts. The total modulation index for these two waveforms is equal to 0.64. Substitute in this formula. Now the total power is equal to 10.84 kilowatts. That means to transmit both the signals simultaneously, the total required power is equal to 10.84 kilowatts. Our next problem. Okay, Dama. An AM transmitter with unmodulated carrier power. Unmodulated carrier power PC is modulated simultaneously by four modulating signals: zero point 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 and zero point 0.6 respectively. Find the number 1, we have to calculate total modulation index value. Number 2, total transmitted power value. Number 3, each sideband power value. Okay. So the carrier power PC is provided. Write it, ma. Next, write all the modulation index values of 4 signals. 1, 2, 3, 4. First calculation. Total modulation index calculation. We know the formula. Total modulation equal to square root of m1 square plus m2 square plus m3 square plus m4 square. Substitute all the values here. Total modulation index value is equal to 0.93. That's all. Next, total transmitted power. The formula is already, we know that formula. Previous problems we substituted, ma. We used this formula, so we know very well. Total power PT is equal to PC into 1 plus MT square root by 2. The carrier power equal to 150 into 1 plus MT square root by 2. 0.93 square root by 2. 150 into 1 plus this value, after substituting the total power is equal to 215.25 watts. This is our total power, transmitted power. Next one is sideband power. So sideband power formula is this one. MT square root by 4 into PC carrier power. Okay, ma. Total power equal to PC into 1 plus MA square by 2. But total sideband power equal to PC into MA square root by 4. So MA square value is available, PC value is also available. Substitute and calculate the sideband power. So here in AM, both the sideband powers are same. LSB sideband power and USB sideband power, both the powers are same. Okay, so both the values are 32.4 watts. Okay, ma. Our next problem is a 1 megahertz carrier with amplitude. Carrier means carrier frequency 1 megahertz with the amplitude value 1 volt. A 1 megahertz carrier with an amplitude of 1 volt peak is modulated by 1 kilohertz sine signal with modulation index 0.5. Sketch the voltage spectrum. Okay. So what what are the parameters provided? First one is 1 megahertz carrier. So carrier frequency is equal to 1 megahertz. Carrier frequency notation ma FC. F suffix C is a carrier frequency. With amplitude is equal to 1 volt. So carrier voltage is equal to 1 volt. Carrier voltage notation is VC. Okay, this carrier voltage is equal to 1 volt. The modulation index value is equal to 0.5. So the modulation index is equal to 0.5. So okay, so the all are provided. Okay, Dama. Now you have to draw the voltage spectrum. Spectrum diagram you have to draw. To draw the spectrum diagram, we need to have two set of parameters. One is x-axis parameter, another one is y-axis parameters. Spectrum means in x-axis we are using the frequency components. So frequency components in AM we have three spectrum lines. One is carrier frequency. All of you see this is the diagram. In x-axis we have three parameters FC, FC plus FM, FC minus FM, three frequency terms. In y-axis corresponding voltage terms are there. So first we have to calculate. FC is provided directly, FM is also directly provided. Okay, Dama. So upper sideband frequency term is FC plus FM. Add these two values. So FC is equal to 1 megahertz, but that is equal to 1000 kilohertz. 1000 kilohertz plus 1 kilohertz equal to 1001 kilohertz. Lower sideband frequency is equal to FC minus FM. Substitute the value, then do subtraction. That is equal to 999 kilohertz. That's all. Next to voltages. In FC, the value is equal to this one, 1 volt, already provided VC value. But this one, sideband voltage is equal to MA VC by 2. So calculate this value. MA is provided, 0.5, VC is also directly provided. So substitute in this, the sideband voltage value is equal to 0.25 voltage. Then draw the spectrum. Draw one horizontal line. Mark 3 points, Rama. FC point, FC plus FM point, FC minus FM point. Then write the values, calculated values here. This is 1 megahertz. This is 1.001. This is 0.999 megahertz. First part step is over. Then draw three vertical lines with arrow mark. This one, this one. So look at the diagram. These two sideband lines should be of same height. This line and this line, both the lines should have same height. Then write the values, corresponding voltage values. 1 volt here, 0.25 and 0.4 volts are here. That's all. So we have drawn the spectrum diagram. Okay, our next problem is AM radio channel bandwidth. One channel is available there, the bandwidth is provided. The bandwidth is equal to 10 kilohertz. Okay, AM radio channel bandwidth is equal to 10 kilohertz. What is the maximum modulating frequency? So, okay, so for this one, we have to know the formula of modulate the bandwidth. So the bandwidth is equal to 2FM. So this is already available. Okay, so for AM and for double sideband suppressed carrier concept, the bandwidth is equal to 2FM. But for single sideband concept, the bandwidth is equal to FM. Just nyabam vachko. For vestigial sideband, the bandwidth lies between the bandwidth of SSB and the bandwidth of double sideband. Okay, so the bandwidth formula is equal to FM. The bandwidth is equal to 10 kilohertz. So the FM, the modulating frequency, FM another modulating signal frequency or message signal frequency. That frequency is equal to bandwidth divided by 2. So the bandwidth value is substituted here. The bandwidth value is calculated as the FM value is 5 kilohertz. Is it clear? Okay, ma. Is it okay? Understand? Are you able to understand these problems, ma? Students, anyone reply me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, fine. Shall we continue, ma? Is it easy to follow? Students, shall we continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine, pa. Okay, next one is a modulating signal. Okay, a modulating signal 20 cos 2 pi 10 power 3 t. This signal, modulating signal, is used to modulate a carrier signal 40 cos 2 pi into 10 power 4t. Find out 5 parameters are provided. The modulating signal equation. Okay, modulating signal equation is provided. Carrier signal equation is also provided. So from these two equations, we have to calculate the modulation index value, percentage modulation value, frequencies of the sideband components and sideband amplitudes, bandwidth of the modulating signal and the spectrum diagram. First one is modulating signal 20 cos 2 pi into 10 power 3t. Carrier signal 40 cos 2 pi into 10 power 4t. So just we have to write the equations. So we just compare first modulating signal equation. Compare these equations the voltage value is equal to 20. Vm equal to 20. First write the voltage value of modulating signal. Then the frequency term is also provided. Fm. Fm equal to 10 power 3. So the frequency of the modulating signal is equal to 10 power 3. 1 in 10 power 3 kHz. That is 1 kHz. Next we are writing the carrier signal. So Vc of t is equal to Vc cos 2 pi fct. 40 into cos 2 pi fct. So compare these two equations. The voltage value is equal to 40. The frequency value fc is equal to 10 in 10 power 4 kilohertz. That is equal to 10 kilohertz. That's all. So we have identified the parameters from the given equation. So in the up to the previous problem, the parameters are directly given. But here in this problem, they are giving the equation, modulated signal equation, carrier signal equation. From the given equations, we are identifying the parameters. So next, we will start our calculation. First, modulation index formula is equal to Vm by Vc. So Vm value is available. Vc equal to 40 volt, Vm is equal to 20 volt. Directly substitute here ma. So 20 divided by 40 is equal to 0.5. This is our modulation index value. Then next one is percentage modulation. Percentage modulation means we have to multiply the modulation index by 100. So 0.5 into 100 is equal, that is equal to 50%. That is our percentage modulation. The third one is frequencies of sideband components. Okay, Dhamma. So the upper sideband component is equal to Fc plus Fm. Fc is available 10 kHz. Fm is equal to 1 kHz. Both the parameters are available. All of you substitute here and do the calculation. 10 plus 1, 11 kHz upper sideband frequency. Lower sideband frequency is Fc minus Fm. 10 minus 1 equal to 9 kHz. That is our lower sideband frequency. Next, amplitudes of upper and lower sideband frequency. That is equal to MA Vc by 2. MA value 0.5, Vc equal to 40 divided by 2 is equal to this one, 10 volts. So bandwidth is equal to 2 Fm. Bandwidth equal to Fm value is directly provided, that is equal to 1 kHz. To 2 into Fm equal to 2 kHz. That is our bandwidth calculation. Now we are drawing the diagram of frequency spectrum. Frequency spectrum means in x-axis we have to mark 3 points and we have to write the three frequency values. So center frequency is Fc. Fc equal to 10 kHz. Fc plus Fm equal to 11 kHz. Fc minus Fm equal to 9 kHz. So 3 points are marked and 3 vertical lines are drawn. Okay, with arrow mark. So the center frequency, center value is Vc, that is equal to 40 volt. This is equal to MAVC by 2 10 volt. This is MAVC by 2 10 volt. That's all. So the frequency spectrum diagram is also over. Okay. Our next problem is for AM double sideband full carrier with peak unmodulated carrier signal Vc is equal to 10 volt Rama. Okay, Vc unmodulated carrier. Before modulation, the carrier voltage is equal to 10 volt. A load resistance value RL is equal to 10 ohms. Modulation coefficient is equal to 1. Determine the power of carrier and upper sidebands. Total sideband power, total power of the modulated wave. Draw the spectrum. First one is the carrier voltage Vc, 10 volt. The load resistance is equal to 10 ohms. Modulation value is coefficient equal to 1. First one is carrier power. Carrier power no. Carrier power equal to Vc square by 2R. Here they have provided carrier voltage and resistance. So the power formula equal to Vc square by 2R. Vc square R value equal to 10 ohm substituted here. The PC is calculated. Next one is upper sideband power, lower sideband powers are calculated. That is equal to MA square by 4 into PC. So MA modulation index value is equal to 1. So 1 square into the PC. 5 watts already calculated, the PC divided by 4. So the upper and lower sideband powers are 1.25 watts. The total power is equal, total sideband power is equal to, here we have two sidebands ma, one is upper, another one is lower sideband. So both the powers are same. So total sideband power equal to 2 times of this value, 1.25. 1.25 plus 1.25, 2.5 watts. Next one is total power in modulated waveform. This is the formula, already we know this formula. Pt equal to Pc into 1 plus Ma square by 2. Pc value is available, Ma value is also available. After substituting the value, we got the total power equal to 7.5 watts. Now we are drawing the power spectrum. It's like our previous problem. So three values, x-axis values. Here in this problem, the frequency terms are not provided. So simply we can write center frequency Fc, this upper sideband frequency FUSB and lower sideband frequency FLSB. So we can write the terms because the values are not provided. But the y-axis values are calculated and provided directly. PC, the PS, LSB, PUSB. So simply the power spectrum diagram is drawn. Okay, is it clear, ma? Student?